Okay, let's do a little more detailed version of this planting. This is the biochar and the compost worm compost mix. I'm going to pour that in the bottom of the hole. It's a good 2 hands full. Then I'm going to take some borax. Okay, I'm going to put about a teaspoon of borax in there. And I'm going to put about a teaspoon of the calcium nitrate in there. And I'm going to put about a teaspoon, well actually a couple of teaspoons of the rock phosphorus in there, as you can see. So now I take the plant, drop it in the hole, and I'm going to fill this hole with water. Actually, that plant is sitting a little bit low, so I'm going to add a little soil to the bottom, bring it up just a little bit. Now, I'm going to fill this hole completely up with water. What that does is it distributes the additives that we just put in, plus it gives the plant a good start with some deep water, and it doesn't shock the plant with the good soil. The good soil is actually it's a very strong equivalent of a fertilizer. The worm casting is very, very rich, and if you shock the plant, it may cause a problem. It could cause it to wilt, so we don't want that to happen. So now we've got the hole completely full of water. I'm going to add some of the native soil, and after we add that, then we're going to put in another handful of the biochar, or 2, and the castings, of course. And then we're going to finish filling the hole with the native soil. And it's okay if the water runs over. Now, do not pack it down. Just let it settle naturally. That's why I fill the hole up with water, so there are no air gaps. If you let it settle naturally, there will be no air gaps, and it will not harm the roots at all. And that's the best way I know to describe the detailed planting of these plants. They should grow quite well. So there you go. That's it. Okay, we got a few more tomatoes and a few more basil in today. As you can see, I think we got like 20 tomatoes in now, which looks pretty good. Of course, our squash are looking very good. They've already got squash on them, and it's only been 3 days, so I'm very happy with that. And look at this chives. Boy, that stuff just jumping. And we got, of course, the cucumbers, and look at this cucumber. That was tiny 2 days ago, so it's growing very fast. I put in a second trellis, and we put yard-long beans along the base of it here. So I've never grown those before. We're going to see what they do. So hopefully it'll all turn out well. Okay, so I'm going to plant a California bell. So red and green pepper. You can pick them early as a green pepper, and you can pick them later as a red pepper. They have an excellent flavor. Extremely good in Mexican food. So, okay, so I'm going to do the same thing. I've dug a hole, and I'm going to put a little bit of, well, actually, a teaspoon or so of this rock phosphate in there, and just a tiny bit of the calcium nitrate. I don't want a lot of nitrate in there because these do not need nitrogen until later, and that is why there is no worm castings or biochar in this hole. Actually, there's already some there from years past. I've been using it for several years. And it's enough to get this plant going, and I will top and side dress with that later on when these peppers develop their tops. Speaking of tops, one of the best things you can do for a pepper for production is trim these top few leaves off, because peppers tend to grow straight up and get really leggy. So if you want to avoid that, just trim off the top few leaves. They will get very bushy because the energy will go back down to these nodes, and these nodes where these leaves are, and that will cause more limbs to grow out, and that will produce more plants. I mean more fruit. So that's it's good to do that. If you can trim them back on the top, it will help. Just prune the top few leaves out. And that's how we plant California Bell. We're going to plant a few peppers. These have been in the cups way too long. I had a few issues this year. It's been a very strange year all the way around, but they're very late going in the ground. I hope they have time to produce. We're going to try them anyway, since I did raise them from seed. Now, I have 2 plants in here, but that's okay because peppers don't mind growing side by side. So I'm going to start by putting a little hole, and you see there are shreds of newspaper in here. Sometimes I will use newspaper as weed block, and I leave it in there over the non-planting season, and the next year I will just plow it in because it actually is good worm food. Worms really like it. Now I'm putting some rock phosphorus in because these peppers really need this phosphorus off the bat. And I'm also, because I know that I am pretty low in calcium, I'm going to put just a tiny bit of the phosphorus, of the calcium in there. And here we go. We're going to plant. This is going to be it. We're very lucky about our planting. We're very, very late. However, that being said, we also are lucky because it's raining a little bit later than it normally does in the season, and that helps tremendously. So as you can see, this next plant I'm going to put in, and by the way, the name of this is an año chili. It's the chilies one of the chilies that you make chili rellenos from, and I love them, so I try to plant them pretty much here. You can see I put this in a bigger cup, and it is a considerably bigger pepper. That tells you how long we've had these in cups, and it just was, it was unavoidable. I had a vaccination. I'm not gonna say what kind, but I had a vaccination, and it really messed me up pretty bad, and I lost about 3 weeks of time on my gardening because of it. So enough said about that. Let's just say I was delayed. So we're going to put this pepper in here, and now we're going to put a couple or 3 more. And the other thing you see in this particular bed is I not only have sweet basil, I have Thai basil as well, which I love. The aroma is amazing. It's good in every food that you want to add it to. So I'm really happy with the Thai basil as well as these año chilies. Okay, let me show you how to prune the tops of these out. I started to just say, but a lot of people are not more visually oriented, so all I do is I just snip these top few leaves out with each plant, and that will make this energy transfer so that the energy goes not straight up, but it will start going to making branches. Gotta be careful not to hit the main group, which I goofed on that one, but it'll be okay. Here's one that we can cut a couple off of. Cut a couple off of this. Just gotta get rid of that main branch headed up. If you do that, oh gosh, messed that up. But anyway, these should start doing much better. They've been cooped up in those cups for 8 weeks or more, which is way too long. But again, I got a little ill and had to make do with what I could. So we hope these have time to produce, because these are extremely good sweet bell peppers. Very good with Mexican food. So I'm going to go top those others that I just put in, and we'll be finished with the peppers for today. Okay, I thought I would show you how I tie my tomatoes. And by the way, this is 1 week's growth. This is the same plant. This is the first plant we planted last week. So what I do is I take this plastic tape and I go around the plant and I make kind of a figure 8 very, very loosely. Then I come and I go around the post and I do a double loop this way and this way. Pull it up, although the plant is still quite loose on there. And now I'm going to tie a knot here. And that should hold that tomato up really nicely, and we will do this every week. And we should not have tomatoes falling on the ground. It should hold it up well. So I hope you're able to see this. I should have cut this one a little bit longer, but it's okay. I get the plastic tape from Amazon, so that should hold that plant quite well. Now I'm going to tie all the rest of them up that need it.